So let's get started. You know, the name of this presentation is Will Data Privacy Kill Advertising? That is the question of the day. So let's just launch right into it. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. Obviously, a lot of curiosity about the future of marketing, advertising, and how it's going to be impacted by this rising regulation and evolution around data privacy. So why am I talking about it? My name is Noor Naseer, and I work in the advertising technology space for a software company focused on trying to solve some of these problems. Prior to that, I worked for a media holding company based out of Chicago that was global, and also working on a lot of these digital media issues and advertising issues. Hopefully some of this status will resonate with you when we think about data privacy as it relates to the status of the advertising industry. I think we're feeling a couple feelings. And one of those feelings is somewhat unnerved about what's going on, or we might be in denial about what's happening from a data privacy standpoint and how it's going to impact our business. And we might be optimistic. So there's a range of emotions that people could be feeling, and that might have something to do with the approaches people are taking to how they are looking at data privacy and how that will impact our campaigns. How does data privacy, how is it going to be impacting advertising and the future of advertising if so much of what we're talking about is so incredibly attractive and incredible for advertisers, right? Like that description I shared, from my perspective, that's just a chef's kiss example of how we're going to want to reach the right person in the right moment in time. And we're talking about a future in which something like that is going to be deeply impacted. So this is an unfortunate but very real reality. Cookies are rapidly disappearing. So the Interactive Advertising Bureau found that as of late last year, 50 to 60% of signal fidelity from third-party identifiers have already been lost. People keep talking about the cookieless future. It's not the cookieless future, it's the cookieless now. And what does that mean for our campaigns as marketers and advertisers? It means that there are things that are changing in relation to those identifiers that we've relied upon no longer being accessible. And that has to do with consumer privacy demands as more people become educated, as there are more advocates, as there's more legislation, and there's more data privacy laws that we have to abide by as businesses and as people who use digital marketing and advertising tools. And so what that means, to be clear, is that audience targeting, that specificity with which we're able to target people, is being changed dramatically, and so is the measurement and attribution. I said that the promise of digital advertising has been the closed-loop attribution, but that's being taken away from us in many ways as well, at least the traditional way that we went about being able to obtain it. And what we need to do is turn to some other solutions, and it's not going to be easy, but we need to think about what some of those things are. And they include looking at first-party data in a very serious way. There's also looking to permissible data sources where we are allowed to collect and leverage them from an advertising and marketing perspective. Then there's also alternative identifiers. We need to use something that will allow for identity that is different from what we have otherwise been leveraging without permission. And finally, deepening our tech stack. We need to do that so that we can actually get a deeper sense of who it is that we're going after, again, in a permissible way. So we'll get into each one of these things right now.